Welcome back to the Chill Stoic, your sanctuary for ancient wisdom in a chaotic world. If you're seeking true inner strength and genuine self-mastery, you're in the right place. And if you're not yet part of our community, hit that subscribe button for the Chill Stoic and transform your perspective, one powerful insight at a time. In this episode, we tackle another profound life lesson: personal accountability, the growth you can't skip. It's about facing your flaws, owning your mistakes, and truly taking responsibility for your inner world. This is where real transformation begins. Most of us live in a culture utterly obsessed with image. We meticulously curate perfection on social media, projecting an unwavering certainty that rarely exists in reality. We strive to look flawless, to present a facade of having it all figured out. But beneath this polished surface, a quieter, more demanding truth awaits. True strength doesn't come from pretending to be above the struggle. It comes from being deep within it and choosing not to be broken by it. This brings us to a crucial life lesson from Marcus Aurelius: personal accountability. He wasn't pretending to be flawless in his meditations. In fact, many entries read like direct mental corrections or quiet admissions of where he slipped, where his emotions got the best of him, where his ego crept in, or where he simply forgot his values. He would write things like, "Don't be overheard complaining, not even to yourself." That wasn't him judging others. That was him meticulously checking himself. This is what Stoicism fundamentally demands. Not that you never fall, but that you are unflinchingly honest when you do. The renowned psychologist Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Marcus was doing precisely that. He was bringing his unconscious biases, every frustration, every flaw, every emotional spiral to the light of conscious awareness. He didn't bury them. He wrote them down, looked at them directly, and in doing so, he refused to let them own him. Growth, true growth, rarely looks like a highlight reel of triumphs. More often, it looks like wrestling with your own uncomfortable thoughts. It looks like waking up after a mistake and realizing, "I messed up yesterday, but today I'll do better." That's the real gritty work. It's not about scaling some imagined mountain peak of enlightenment, but simply staying aware, consistently checking yourself before you go too far, catching the slip before it cascades into a full-blown spiral. Think about the last time you overreacted, said something you immediately regretted, or held on to a grudge longer than you knew you should have. What did you do afterward? Did you reflexively blame the other person? Did you justify your actions, rationalizing them away? Or did you, even quietly, admit to yourself, "That's on me"? That tiny moment of acknowledgement, that internal whisper of truth, is what Marcus practiced every single day. And that's precisely where profound growth lives, not in elusive perfection, but in consistent, courageous self-awareness. Aristotle wisely wrote, "Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom." Marcus took this literally. Every day he checked in, not with others, but with himself. Am I being ruled by fear? By anger? By ego? These weren't fleeting thoughts. They were the backbone of his daily practice, his form of mental discipline, his internal mirror. This intentional self-scrutiny is the fundamental difference between someone who wants to appear wise and someone who genuinely becomes wise. One avoids mistakes, hides them, or denies them. The other exposes them, examines them, and learns profoundly from them. In one powerful passage, Marcus reminds himself, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." That level of profound humility from an emperor is nothing short of staggering. And it's not merely poetic, it's immensely powerful. Because true growth never stems from stubbornly clinging to being right. It comes from being genuinely willing to change your mind when a more accurate or virtuous truth presents itself. Isn't that the constant battle most of us face daily? The inherent tension between the desire to look right and the commitment to actually be right? Between fiercely defending our pride and humbly admitting we still have so much more to learn? Marcus leaned into that very tension. He allowed it to be his teacher, a crucible for his character. Plato once famously stated, "The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself." This is precisely what Marcus was attempting daily, quietly, imperfectly. His battles weren't solely against Parthian armies. He was deeply at war with himself, his impulses, his frustrations, his need to control, his desire to retaliate, his hunger for external recognition. He met these internal adversaries not with force, but with heightened awareness, and sometimes with a profound act of surrender. That's the true essence of accountability. It's not about punishment or shame, it's about presence, about owning your part, seeing yourself with unflinching clarity, and choosing every single time to rise a little higher. Marcus didn't fill his writings with self-celebration. He relentlessly corrected himself over and over again. He would write things like, "At every hour, give your full concentration. Do everything as if it were the last thing you were doing in your life." He wasn't preaching to an audience. He was urgently reminding himself. Because like all of us, he got distracted, he became emotional, he grew tired, he simply forgot what truly mattered. And instead of concealing these human frailties, he diligently documented them. That, paradoxically, is strength. Socrates taught that the unexamined life is not worth living. Marcus examined his life not just once, not just occasionally, but relentlessly and daily. Even as an emperor, even amidst wars, even while consumed by grief, he maintained this rigorous practice. That level of unwavering consistency is incredibly rare, and it is precisely where profound transformation begins, not in a singular moment of blinding clarity, but in the steadfast habit of consistently returning to it. You can palpably feel his profound humanity permeating the pages of Meditations. There is no trace of ego, no hint of arrogance, just a man, a sovereign ruler, desperately trying to stay centered amidst the overwhelming chaos of immense power, crushing responsibility, profound personal loss, and constant temptation. He confronted the very same struggles we do, albeit amplified 1,000-fold, and yet he relentlessly showed up. He meticulously held himself to an ever higher standard, not because anyone else was watching, but because he himself was watching. Think about that for a second. What if your life was being observed, not by others, but by your future self? The version of you 5-10 years from now, the one who is wiser, calmer, more grounded. What would that future self say about the way you're living today? Would they offer thanks for your unwavering accountability? Or would they be left cleaning up the emotional messes your unchecked ego left behind? That's the profound well Marcus tapped into. He wasn't writing for external applause. He was writing for internal alignment. He was diligently staying accountable to the only person he could never truly lie to, himself. And perhaps that's the most powerful life lesson of all, that genuine self-respect isn't meticulously built on the illusion of being flawless. It is, instead, courageously built on the bedrock of being real, on being honest enough to admit, I slipped, but I see it, and I will do better tomorrow. It's not glamorous, it's rarely easy, but it is profoundly rare. And in a world relentlessly obsessed with filters, with curated performances, with always appearing in control, there's something utterly revolutionary about simply saying, "I'm still learning." If you're on that arduous but rewarding path of holding yourself accountable, of humbly admitting where you fall short, of choosing genuine growth instead of hollow pretense, then you are already walking in spirit beside Marcus. Not just in history, but in practical application, in mindset, and in profound courage. Because that's what true courage looks like. Not standing tall and defiant on a stage, but kneeling quietly in front of your own mistakes and humbly whispering, "Teach me." And that concludes our deep dive into personal accountability, the growth you can't skip. Remember, true strength comes not from avoiding mistakes, but from honestly confronting them and committing to do better. If this life lesson resonated with you, there are many more profound insights waiting. Don't forget to subscribe to The Chill Stoic to continue your journey toward a calmer, clearer, and more purposeful life. Until next time, stay steady, stay grounded, and most of all, stay true.